has some of the loudest people.
We need to send them to education camps. We're gonna send them to education camps. How do y'all think of Nazis, bro? Let's think about a Nazi. Nazis, I mean, they're weird, they're incels, they're losers, they're a lot of them, a lot of these SSR, soldiers, like Hitler soldiers, like, they were gay. I mean, a lot of I don't know, bro. To me, when I think of a Nazi, I think of like fucking a guy that's just, I don't know, just a fucking pussy. I'm just gonna be honest. But we got ourselves a video to react to. I don't know why I said that. The self-hating neo-Nazi. Okay, let's see what this is about, man. The video playing? Oh, shit.
Right, this is one of the weirdest things that I
what the fuck is this? When I see a black person support like the right wing, MAGA and all that shit, bro, like even just being a little bit a part of it, like, to me, that shit is weird, bro.
think is happening online. You've got people of color, minorities, openly supporting neo-Nazi ideology. An entire movement built on white identity has some of the loudest people.
We need to send them to education camps. We're gonna send them to education camps. That's what we're gonna do.
People pushing it, and they're not even white. So I wanted to dive into this whole self-hating neo-Nazi phenomenon. Why minorities start following an ideology that considers them subhuman, and how people get radicalized or even try to be the token black guy. I'm one of the good ones.
A lot of them are just insecure, though. A lot of them are just insecure.
Right? Recently, a few months ago in November 2025, the last place anyone ever expected a white supremacist coded attack was inside a high school mosque in Jakarta, in Indonesia. During Friday prayers, a series of explosions ripped through the prayer hall, sending shrapnel, smoke, and waves of panic across the student body. And around 50 to 90 people, including students, teachers, and staff, were injured in the blast. And the perpetrator was identified almost immediately. A quiet 17-year-old student who was enrolled in the same school, who himself was badly wounded. And what stunned Indonesian investigators was
that nigga hurt himself? The fuck?
Wasn't the brutality of the attack, but the imagery and symbols tied to it. It wasn't a jihadist attack, nor did it resemble any known local extremist groups. Instead, the clues all pointed to something jarringly foreign: Western neo-Nazi culture. Police found a toy machine gun that he had modified and decorated with markings connected to white supremacist ideology, including the infamous.
It's literally just, these people are just extremely insecure. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, can't get pussy, so they just take their anger out on everybody else.
14 words slogan. And if you're unfamiliar, the 14 words is one of the most infamous.
Oh my god, bro, the Gartha shit, bro. Y'all really doing this with the Gartha shit? The Gartha shit, bro? The blue-eyed, blonde-haired white man fucking... If you sip some white monster, you turn into a fucking god and shit. Y'all niggas are weird, bro. Like, yes, that's a real... Yes, Nazis and, like, the Stalins, the Hitlers, like, they believed in a lot of these, like, crazy fucking ideologies, bro. Genuinely, they believed in this shit. They're fucking weird.
Slogans in modern white supremacist ideology. It refers to a 14-word phrase coined by American neo-Nazi David Lane. It goes as, quote, "We must secure the existence of our people and the future for white children." It's essentially a mission.
We must preserve whiteness. Oh.
Statement for white power movements, calling for racial purity, exclusion, and the preservation of a white ethno-state. Despite how simple it sounds, it's a coded rallying cry used globally by neo-Nazis, extremists, and racist terror groups. This young man also...
It's just like white victim complex shit. Like, it's literally just being it's a white person who have this, like, victim complex. They think that, like, they're entitled to everything, and then when they don't get it, they fucking turn it to fucking Hitler. I don't fucking get it, bro. It's literally that. They're just insecure. And they don't accomplish shit. All they do is they just follow a fear. They follow Hitler. They follow Trump. They follow Stalin. You know what I mean?
included phrases invoking Breton Tarrant, the Australian neo-Nazi
And they'd probably suck his dick too.
who massacred 51 Muslim worshippers in Christchurch. The most disturbing discovery came from his bedroom, a 42-page handwritten diary now central to the investigation.
Hey, if these motherfuckers got guns, we gotta get guns, bro. We gotta be strapped up, bro. I'm dead ass serious, bro. I really think that people should start owning, like, I mean, we live in fucking America. What am I talking about, bro? What am I talking about? We live in America. Everybody has a gun. But, like, get yourself a nice little AR, bro. Learn how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Use it for self-defense. Use it for trading, right? Like, don't fucking, because if these type of motherfuckers got these kind of weapons, bro, like, I'm not saying that you should be scared of some crazy motherfucker trying to kill you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, you need to, like, you got to have something to defend yourself with. You know what I mean?
That reads like a mixture of personal despair, rage at his classmates, and a chilling fascination with Western far-right culture. And it was found that he was immersed in extremist content. Investigators found he had joined at least one Telegram group dedicated to glorifying mass shooters. And in his diary, he referenced multiple Western attackers by name. In January 2025, we also saw Solomon Henderson open fire in his high school cafeteria in Antioch, Tennessee, killing a female classmate before taking his own life. Henderson was black. He was an African-American student, yet investigators discovered a trove of...
Nah, bro. These coons, man. These self-hating fucking black people, bro. Bro, like, I'm mixed, but, in the heart, I'm black, right? So it's like, when I see another black person fall into this right-wing shit, even if it's not extremist, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work being a minority in this country and then thinking that, like, this, like, slave master mentality, bro. I don't get it, bro. This Uncle Ruckus shit. It's a self-hating, it's just self-hating, bro. These people, they hate themselves, bro. They're, you know what I mean? And it's because they're insecure. They don't, you know what I mean? They're pussies, they're cucks, they're incels. Literally, like, they take their anger out on the world because they can't get pussy. I don't fucking know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, bro. Hitler, you know what I'm saying, was a failed artist and turned into a fucking dictator? Oh, hell nah, bro. It always seems like the biggest crybabies turn into these fucking monsters, bro.
Writings where he praised Adolf Hitler and neo-Nazi mass killers and spewed hatreds towards people of his own race. In a 51-page manifesto he shared online,
yeah, we need to send him to a fucking education camp. That's what he needs.
Voiced violent white supremacist beliefs and even called for genocide against racial and religious minorities, aligning himself with neo-Nazi accelerationist and violent misogynist or incel ideologies. Yeah. He described himself as a black man, angry at members.
No lives matter. What the fuck? No lives matter. Yeah, bro. How can you be a minority supporting right-wing, like, politics? I don't fucking get it, bro. And even if it's not extreme, it's like, it always leads to some, like, it's like, come on, bro.
Of his own race. His manifesto, which he called Niggercell, is just full of self-hatred. He calls himself an involuntary nigger, twisting the incel label into a form of racial self-loathing. He writes, "I'm disgusted with being black. It makes me feel worthless." He also calls himself a groyper incel, openly tying
oh my god, bro,
his worldview to Nick Fuentes' extremist movement.
Yo, Nick Fuentes, bro. You know what's crazy? Nick Fuentes is Hispanic, bro, and he's gay. He got caught watching gay porn, bro. Like, the fuck? Why do y'all listen to this motherfucker, bro? Why? What do you gain from listening to Nick Fuentes, bro? He literally defended Jeffrey Epstein. He said he was cool. How do you, like, it's like, these people, like, they don't get it. Like, instead of just improving yourselves, you become a worse version of yourselves. You become a pussy. Like, Nazis are fucking pussies, bro. Nazis are, they're cringe, bro. They're literally fucking cringe. But it's like, you choose to go that route. Instead of going more right, why don't you just move more left? Like, what the fuck? Look at this. As someone wanting to normal and fit in, niggas hate me, brown people hate me, women hate me to the extent I want to cry in a corner, and knowing shit is happening influences my people that terrible influence on my childhood and school life for the sake of pushing the agenda and keeping black people with themselves. What? So, because the reason why he became this incel is because he's a fucking he just doesn't know how to manage his emotions, bro. That's really what it is. He doesn't understand that, what? I mean, I understand trauma. Like, trauma was definitely the biggest part of this, but this is just insane, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, why do people, like, you know what I mean? What? What the Like, look at his games. Mega Chud, Skylanders, what the fuck? Doom. Okay, Doom's cool. Postal, Cry Out of Fear, Manhunt, CSGO. Okay. Have mentally prepared me for murder. What? Oh my gosh,
And
bro.
its mixture of
I'm
misogyny,
sorry.
anti Semitism, and far right accelerationism, despite Nick Fuentes also being a minority himself. In May 2023, 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia, a man of Latino heritage, opened fire at an outlet mall in Allen, Texas, murdering 8 people before he was killed by police. Garcia had the Nazi tattoos on his body and
What the fuck? Like, this doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, how do you regress so much as a person that you became a race traitor, bro? Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. And then you shoot. It's like these people, they hate themselves and they don't know how to control their emotions, so they just take it out on everybody fucking else because they're fucking pussy, bro.
kept a diary
I don't
professing
care
a
if he's
white
a
power
kid. It's some pussy ass shit, bro.
ideology, writing about how he became a full blown white supremacist, even as he self identified as
What the
Hispanic. Of course, this is not an isolated case. Garcia is part of a small but growing
Oh my gosh, this Aryan shit, bro. This Agartha shit again, bro. Y'all are so cringe, bro. I fucking hate y'all.
subset of Hispanics that are drawn to white nationalist movements. There's this Twitter account.
But seriously though, seriously need to put these people in like an education camp or some shit like that. Like, reteach them everything. Like, hey, this is what happens. Hey, this is bad. You know what I mean? Teach them what's right. You know what I mean?
Called Kaguya's Top Gal. It's like the most abhorrently white supremacist, racist shit. And surprise, the guy running the account is just some random Mexican kid. Haeon Jong-yu, a Korean heritage man from Texas, literally brands himself online as an Asian Nazi and an open white supremacist. Mr. Gypsy Crusader, Paul Nicholas Miller, a far right streamer and self proclaimed neo
What?
Nazi who became infamous for his live broadcasts filled with racial slurs, Nazi salutes, and just edgy stuff.
Oh
And he
no.
openly
Oh no, bro. Just corny, bro. It's just fucking corny, bro.
aligns himself with white supremacist ideology, despite belonging to 2 ethnic groups historically targeted by Nazis.
And these like racially confused people, like there's this thing, it's called the 1% drop rule. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how it is here in the West. If you are half black and half white, you are black. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it really depends on the parents too. But really, it's just like you're black, right? Like, you're mixed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you look more black, you're black passing. If you look more white, you're white passing. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just how it is in the West, bro. You know what I mean? Like, y'all look at me. Do you think I'm white? My mom's white. Do you think I'm white? No, nigga. Right? So, these people, they're just racially confused, bro. Like, I don't get it.
His mother is Mexican and his father is Romani. One of the earliest examples I want to go back to is Daniel Burros, and he was born to a Jewish family in New York, went to a Hebrew school, and even had a bar mitzvah, and he became one of the most fanatical neo-Nazis in America. He rose to be a high-ranking member of the American Nazi Party and later Grand Dragon, the Ku Klux Klan's New York chapter. And
Why didn't we just like we need to just like ban this kind of shit,
When the New
bro?
York Times exposed his Jewish background in 1965, he killed himself. These cases are not isolated anomalies.
Oh my god,
There have been other
bro.
reports of non-white
In
individuals
GTA, he died in GTA.
in far-right extremist circles. For example, like we talked about, Nick Fuentes, one of America's most notorious white nationalist live streamers, is half Mexican, yet preaches racist, anti-Semitic messages. Enrique Tarrio, former leader of the Proud Boys, is Afro-Cuban, and under his tenure, the group openly courted white nationalist ideology.
Bro, like what? This shit is sick, bro. Ye like these people like people who just do shit like this, you're a minority. You're the minority. Like like why are you stooping low to these people, bro? These people not only do they hate like they just oh my gosh, these people are cornballs.
Afro-Cuban, and under his tenure, the group
He's
openly
more confused than a transgender. Like these people love to make fun of transgenders and shit, but you act if that's the case, you act just as confused as them, you fucking idiot.
courted the white nationalist ideology
Oh
while
my god.
paradoxically holding Enrique as the figurehead. In fact, hate groups often cynically use such minority members as token proof that they aren't racist, even as their core ideology remains anchored in racial hatred. All of these cases raises the same perplexing question. Why would someone join a movement that seemingly hates people like them? Well, to answer all this, we have to dive in psychology of self-hatred and extremist radicalization.
There's also the money part. You know, these motherfuckers be making hella money too
We have to grapple with concepts like
off selling
internalized
out.
racism, identification with the aggressor, and profound alienation, which are all frameworks that are going to give us insight on how an oppressed or marginalized individual can start to echo this ideology of their oppressors or
Mm.
would be oppressors.
Can you show me the doll that you liked best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Psychologists define internalized racism as what happens when members of a marginalized group absorb the negative stereotypes, biases, and narratives about their own group that a racist society produces. Now, I'm going to be showing a lot of examples on screen.
I think I'm pretty sure like a lot of these kids they grew up out of this shit. You know, they got older, they got education, they realized like, oh wow, like I was crazy back then. You know, it happens, bro.
Most of them are going to be coming from an African American perspective since, I'm black. But of course, this applies to any other minority. Over generations, messages of white superiority spread through everything from colonial education systems to media portrayals can become ingrained in the very psyche of people targeted by these messages. In communities of color worldwide, this can manifest into self-doubt, low self-esteem.
These people are so obsessed with black people, bro. They're so obsessed with us, bro. It's so crazy. So obsessed with us, bro. It's like they want to fuck us, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop fetishizing us, bro. Like, we don't want you. The racist white supremacists, not just white people in general. I hope y'all understand that too.
Colorism, or even self-hatred. When someone like Solomon Henderson proclaims that he is angry at members of his own race, this is internalized racism taken to its extreme. He came to see his own black identity as something abhorrent, mirroring white
I fucking hate communists.
supremacist views.
Fucking
Now, this process can
communist.
begin subtly, like a child of color.
I make $30K a year. You know what I mean? Get that oil, Trump. Get that oil.
Growing up bombarded by images of equating beauty, intelligence, or virtue with being white, and seeing people like themselves cast only as sidekicks, villains, or victims. And over time, they might start to believe these hierarchical values, consciously or subconsciously, accepting that white is better and that their own race is lesser. Internalized racism
Nah, this shit is diabolical. this is insane, bro.
Primes a person to align with these ideas that promise proximity to the superior identity or whiteness and rejection of the inferior one. Also closely related
What
is a
the
classical
fuck?
psychological phenomenon often
What the fuck? This that white savior complex
called
bullshit.
identification with the aggressor. This concept, with roots in trauma psychology, describes how people, especially the vulnerable or victimized, may cope
Oh
by
my
adopting
God.
traits or ideology of those who have power over them. There's a kind of Stockholm syndrome here at play. The oppressed person comes to identify with their oppressor in an attempt to feel empowered themselves. Marwa Azab, a psychology professor at Cal State Long Beach, explains it this way, quote, I admire this person who is strong, who is a leader. I don't look like them, but maybe if I act like them, sound like them, even turn
Oh my God. What the Yo, what the fuck? This nigga Uncle Ruckus was wildin', bruh.
against my own people, I will prove that
Nah, bruh. That had wasn't that in the new season?
I'm one of them. In other words, a person of color embracing white supremacism might be desperately signaling, look, I can be the good one. I'm on your side. Please accept me. This is where you see a lot of
Give me a seat at the table, please.
coons in African American culture.
Coon.
Be good nigga for massa. Good nigga. Don't send Toby away. Toby be good for your hand, boss. Good for
Oh,
your hand, massa.
brother. Oh, nah. You know what's crazy, bruh? These people, they used to like react to music and shit, and it wasn't working, so they resorted to this shit instead of just, you know, bettering their content and just improving over time. They sold themselves out to racist people. Like, it just, these three people are such fucking clowns, bro.
That's all right, Toby. That's all right. You be a good field hand, and you can stay here.
Toby, stay. Toby, stay. Toby, be good now.
Oh my God, no. Every time I see this shit, bruh. Look at Trump, bro.
Toby, be real good.
Does racism exist?
Absolutely not. And it has never existed.
It doesn't exist. It isn't. Okay.
Whoa!
It has never.
Wait, whoa!
I mean, you even got this guy. He's a white guy. You know what I'm saying? He's probably a good guy, right? He's not a racist piece of shit. But it's like you got white people looking at you like you fucking crazy. Like, come on, bro.
Whoa!
It's a made-up word.
It's a very tragic paradox, as in trying to
We're all
gain
the same.
safety
We're
or
all
validation
human.
by siding with the quote powerful, they end up parroting
Yo, Kanye, get the fuck off my screen, bro.
hatred against their own community.
Get the fuck off my screen.
Yes, let's go! Influencing to kill. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Propaganda's so strong over here. I'm gonna get all these to kill each other.
The psychological mechanism provides a twisted sense of empowerment, as instead of feeling like a victim, they imagine themselves as part of the victorious, dominant, superior group.
Just to let you guys know, these racist motherfuckers, bro, they're the minority. You know, most people aren't racist, bigoted pieces of shit, right? Like, it just seems that way because they're always the loudest, but it's really not the fucking case.
Your mind is all just social constructs anyways. We see this in people like Solomon Henderson's writings. For instance, he expressed praise for Hitler and other racist murderers, figures who, had they known him, would have despised him for his skin color. However, by venerating them, Henderson was identifying with the aggressor, perhaps to escape the pain of feeling like a target. I don't know. It's all a coping strategy that just turns horribly wrong. Beyond racial and identity issues, many of these individuals share histories of alienation, abuse, or mental distress. Social isolation and psychological distress are often the root of radicalization across all races. Young people drawn to extremist ideologies frequently start with common threads that transcend the racial.
These self-hating people, I don't even think they truly don't care about themselves, bro. They're like that as well. Like, they don't care, bro. That they don't like they know what the intention is, but they don't care. They're terrified. They think like some of these people do this out of fear. You know what I mean? Like that, oh, I'm one of the good ones when it's time for y'all to commit genocide on us, you know what I mean? Whatever, right? Like, you know, dissonance of the regime and shit, you know, right? Like, you're not gonna kill me. but the reality is that's not what it's gonna be, bro. They're gonna use you. They're gonna use you as a fucking tool, bro.
Ethnic groups such as loneliness, depression, a sense of emasculation or failure, and a crave for belonging. Now, for much of modern history, mainstream culture, and Western societies, and in many countries influenced by Western colonialism, there's been a clear and damaging signal sent. Whiteness is the norm and ideal, and darker skinned people are others,
What the fuck is this
often
shit, bro?
inferior others. In film and television, who were the heroes and love interests? Who were the sidekicks, criminals, or comic relief? In news coverage, which victims get humanized and which are ignored or blamed for their own plight. These patterns have been studied by scholars and often felt by communities of color daily, and the effect on minority individuals can be profound. Many develop a deep sense of what W.E.B. Du Bois called the double consciousness, seeing themselves through the eyes of society that demeans them. At worst, they can internalize negative stereotypes, a process we discussed as internal.
This shit is disgusting, bro.
Take, for example, the concept
Yeah. Black people are just eating fucking paper. Yeah, that's just what happened, bro. That's just what it is, bro. We just eat rocks and shit. Like, shut the fuck up.
Color hierarchies in colonized regions. In Latin America, centuries of Spanish colonial caste systems created an entrenched hierarchy of color, where lighter-skinned people are privileged and those of indigenous or African descent are marginalized. Immigrants from these cultures may carry such prejudices with them. Then, by arriving in the United States, they encounter a different racial schema that puts them below white Americans. This can cause a minority individual to feel doubly devalued, first by their own society's colorism, then by American racism that treats them as foreigners or inferiors. In extreme cases, that could also mean a Latino person, or often cases a black person, aligning with white supremacy.
Be glad that most people today don't think like this. Like, really think about that. People really grew and evolved as time went on, bro. Like, people started to be more supportive of civil rights and that kind of shit, bro. It's kind of cool, bro. It's a good thing, but still to this day, still to this day, this country has a huge white power supremacist structure, bro. Like, that's just what it is, bro. White European, bro. Like, that's just what it is, bro.
This is essentially saying, hey, I'm not like those other bad minorities. I'm on your side. I'm one of the good ones. In American media, there's also the
Nick Fuentes nuked black people. What the fuck?
trope of the model minority in subcommunities. An expectation that one could earn conditional acceptance by embodying certain stereotypes, i.e. being the good, compliant minority, and those who fail to meet these expectations may feel some form of resentment or shame. In American television, there's the acceptable Negro character that shows up as the black character who's deliberately written to be safe, agreeable, and non-threatening to white audiences. They're rarely allowed to be angry or engage in radical politics or structural critiques of racism.
Damn, bro.
Instead, they exist to reassure the viewer that the system works, that success is possible if you just behave correctly.
But there's always extra steps added for minorities, bro. You know what I mean? Or at least most minorities. That's just what it is, bro.
The role isn't to challenge power, but to validate it. And a classic example of this is The Cosby Show. Cliff Huxtable was groundbreaking in representation, but he was also deliberately apolitical and insulated from systemic racism. The show presented black success as purely a matter of personal responsibility, reinforcing the idea that racism was no longer a meaningful barrier, an image that conservative
no, racism no longer exists, and that's a fucking lie.
Today weaponize against real-world discussions of inequality.
So let's talk about you. How did that impact you? How did something that happened 60 years ago impact your life?
It impacts me all the time.
How?
What do you? Okay.
You're at Texas A&M. You're doing great.
Okay. Yes. Sure. Yeah.
So aren't you a living example that all that's a bunch of nonsense and you could just act good and behave well and succeed?
Yeah, just behave well, black boy. Behave well. Like, you see how he's like, you know what I mean?
But there's also living examples of the exact opposite.
If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better.
There's two different.
Look at these niggas.
Dude, yes.
Like they about to laugh, bro. But they have so much shame, bro. You can tell they're like, damn, bro. Look at their faces. They're like, fuck, bro.
My day is about to turn around for the better.
There's two different races of black people here. We have
Oh my god, black people and niggas, shut the fuck up.
regular black people like us here, and then we have Gus.
So you're actually the reason why people like us can't do well, because they've sold you our oppression and you bought it. Blacks were doing better under the Jim Crow era.
What the fuck? What the fuck? No, bro. Shut the fuck up.
And all that to say, the idea
I knew she was bad, but like, oh my gosh, she's a fucking coon.
that behaving correctly guarantees safety collapses the moment you actually look at real life. Take Philando Castle. He was a school cafeteria supervisor, known for feeding kids and following the rules. However, during a traffic stop, he politely informed an officer he was carrying a legal firearm, which was exactly what he was instructed to do, and he was still shot and killed with his.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Bro, really? Don't reach. Like, come on, bro. Where's the body cam?
Girlfriend and her child in the car. Amadou Diallo, an unarmed immigrant standing in the doorway of his apartment.
That's
Officers
crazy.
fired 41 shots at him. He had no criminal record, no weapon, no history. His mistake was reaching for his wallet. Tatiana Jefferson shot through her own window while playing video games with her nephew. And of course, these biases extend beyond law enforcement, as we see with cases like.
See, this is why, like, I'm being dead ass serious, bro. We gotta be strapped up. Like, you need to like learn how to use a gun, bro. Learn how to defend yourself. Know the gun laws in your state. I'm dead ass serious, bro. You know what I mean? I know it sounds, you might think, oh no, you know what I mean? No, bro, stop. It's just, you have a right to defend yourself, bro. You know what I mean? I like, my first experience buying a gun was pretty fucking bad. You know, the guy tried to act like he was in the FBI and shit, accusing me of shit, you know, saying that I wasn't the one buying it when I literally had proof. You know, just completely denying it. And when, you know what I mean, when his threats and his little games didn't work, he started fucking crying. This is a true story. This actually happened a few weeks ago. This happened, you know, New Year's Eve. This literally happened on New Year's Eve. Yeah, I went to a Sportsman Warehouse. Bro, these niggas, bro, no reason for him to accuse me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And then I went to a local store, and they instant easy about the gun, and I left. You know, well, of course I didn't leave because you got to do the background check and shit. But it's like, you don't think there's racism, bro? Like, I literally told the guy, yeah, I bought the gun with, you know, my credit card, and then nigga started crying, bro. Like, this is a true story. He didn't believe me. It's crazy, bro. I literally had the credit card and everything. He was lying to my fucking face, and I was like, yeah, you could just give me a refund. You fucking pussy.
Trayvon Martin, a young man who was killed for walking around in a neighborhood eating Skittles and drinking tea.
Bro.
Again, the idea that good behavior guarantees safety.
Oh, he was wearing a hoodie. Shut the fuck up.
A myth. People often grow up believing that if you work hard and stay respectful, the system won't harm you. If you follow orders, nothing bad will happen. If you're not a threat, then people, or more specifically the state, won't act violently towards you. Meanwhile, decades of anti-black imagery have not only hurt black people's self-image, but have also sometimes fermented anti-black bias, even amongst people.
What the fuck? Yo, Mickey, bruh. Nah, bruh. Nah, this ain't Mickey Mouse, bruh. This ain't Mickey Mouse, bruh.
The idea that a black person could espouse racist views was often treated as some form of comedic absurdity. Think the satirical skit of black white supremacists.
Hey, why don't you young about to turn that music down?
Oh, this shit's funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. This guy is blind. He doesn't know that he's black. He thinks he's white, bro.
Like lay set. Boogie boogie now. Boogie boogie.
Or Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. But this reductive treatment means that when this actually happens in reality, It's completely blindsiding. It's insane. But there's also another piece to this puzzle. Hate has an economy now. There are YouTube channels, podcasts, and influencers who make serious money by packaging misogyny, race.
Oh my fucking goodness, bro. These niggas are so corny, bro. You know what I mean? I respect ABBA for coming here. You know what I mean? And these two are they're fucking clowns, bro. They literally disrespect Preacher's wife for no fucking reason. Or is even his wife. He just pulled out a woman, or a random woman that maybe he was dating at the time, and just started making fun of her and shit. Like, all these, bro, these niggas are just insecure. They're fucking losers, bro. Like, that's just what it is, bro.
Racism, grievance, and reactionary politics as entertainment. And in doing so, they normalize some of the talking points used by actual extremists. And we're not just talking about white supremacists here. We're talking about grifters and media personalities whose narratives help the pipeline run, even if they claim they're just being, I guess, controversial or outspoken. Take figures like Candace Owens. She's a mainstream political commentator with millions of YouTube subscribers. And,
she left the black community because of black on black crime. Really? Really, bro? So instead of coming out and giving solutions to pass laws to help black communities, to help minority communities in general, you know, you feed into the racist white supremacist power structure. That's what you do? Like, shut the fuck up.
She's a public figure. Her platform is huge. Her audience is
Charlie
massive,
Kirk's
and her
only
style is
friend.
everyday political commentary. But she's repeatedly amplified narratives that soften the ground for extremist ideas, like minimizing white supremacy's impact or reframing demographic fear as
This is
some
disgusting.
form of
This is
common
disgusting.
sense.
This is disgusting. This is his only friend, by the way. Just want to let you know that.
That kind of rhetoric doesn't sound like a manifesto, but it reshapes how millions think about race, power, and grievances before they even encounter a neo-Nazi forum. And it should be noted that these mainstream voices can act as gateways to more extreme ideologies, even if that's not their explicit goal. When big personalities push misogynistic, xenophobic, or culture war content that suits extremist talking points, it lowers the barrier to the next step of radical thought for their viewers. What ties people like this together is whether they're calling themselves political critics or self-improvement gurus.
What is this
social media
graph? Hold on, let me
platforms
look
like
at this.
YouTube, TikTok, Twitter reward engagement, and engagement spikes whenever
shit.
content provokes outrage.
Oh my god.
It's not
You
accidental.
just gotta ignore people like this, bro. Just ignore her, bro. She lost all her money. She's a dumbass. And apparently she has a kid that's mixed. I swear, bro.
This is a tactic that's now called rage baiting. It literally means
Yeah.
deliberately posting inflammatory, offensive, or provocative content to spark reactions and drive clicks, views, subscribers. The person spouting all this doesn't even have to believe it.
Don't give these people the reaction you want. You know what I mean? Like, don't give these people that reaction. Don't crash out. No, they like seeing that shit, bro. That's why they're doing it. You know what I mean? It's to help fill the gaping fucking hole in their soul that they, you know what I mean? That just they can't empty out all that darkness that they hate.
All that matters is that it, makes them money. This makes racism profitable. All this stuff gets these people attention. With this attention, you get ad revenue, you get brand deals, direct subscriptions, or whatever merchant.
Didn't she get demonetized though? She literally lost she literally had to make a whole new channel.
Merchandise or courses is selling. We see this play out in channels and podcasts that are nominally about men's empowerment.
You know, look at this. All black people, right? They're vibing, they're chilling, they're not fighting. They're, you know what I mean? They're cordial. They ain't doing nothing fucking wrong, bro.
We see this play out in
They're not
and
doing
podcasts
anything
that are
wrong.
normally about men's empowerment. They're
Literally.
but crossed into outright misogyny and racist framing. The Fresh and Fit podcast, for example, started out as part of the manosphere, but became a money-making venture with a huge following, and its hosts have leaned into demeaning women and even hosted guests that embrace Holocaust denial, Hitler imagery, and other far-right ideas, then monetize these discussions through platforms that pay for views and subscriptions. You have content creators like Sneeko, who start off relatively making innocuous motivational or street interview content. I watched him when I was younger and actually liked his videos, and he later pivoted into
The guy that he became is such a fucking disgrace, bro. Even to this day. He just needs to ditch that red pill shit. Just get away from all these motherfuckers, bro. It's like
to hateful and anti-Semitic commentary. Though
Yeah.
he's seemingly getting better now. I don't know.
Nah, not really. I mean, he's still, he's still right.
Not to mention Myron Gaines, the co-host of the Fresh and Fit podcast, last month in December was blocked from entering Turning Point USA's annual America Fest.
Dumbass nigga,
event, and he
fucking
showed up hoping
dumbass.
to get inside this ultra-conservative gathering, but surprise, surprise, he was
Yeah,
stopped
they-
at the door and not permitted entry. It's a bit ironic that highlights that even conservative or right-wing groups reject him despite his attempts to align with him. No matter how
Oh my
self-hating
gosh.
he may portray himself to be.
These people
You
are
can talk-
so fucking corny, bro.
talk. You can say all you want. It doesn't matter.
I'm so glad these people are in the minority, bro.
Still, nigga. Let's be very clear. I'm not calling everybody in this influencer section neo-Nazis. They often
They're
don't
not,
advocate genocide or literal white supremacy, but they do create an ecosystem where extremist
No, they push it. They push it.
ideas are no longer
They push towards it. Like, you know what I mean? Like this fucking weirdo.
talking. They're just another opinion you scroll past on social media. And the
Yeah.
normalization of this is the real danger because radicalization is a pipeline. It starts off in medium-sized channels talking about, relationships.
Everything starts off as a joke. Everything starts off as a joke until it's no longer a joke. You know what I mean, right? Like, look at Donald Trump. People said Donald Trump wasn't going to do a lot of the bad shit that, that he was going to do. And it turns out that was the case. He's a con man. Right? He's insecure himself. He cries about wanting a Nobel Peace Prize all the time. And when he doesn't get it his way, he just takes his anger out on other countries and towards us because he's a fucking loser. That's just what it is.
In politics, and then spirals into topics like women are ruining society or Western civilization is under attack.
It's just women, just women.
The viewer is receptive. They drift into forums and individuals pushing white supremacist violence or what we now know as neo-Nazi material.
Yep.
And there are these figures who take the normalization and explicitly turn it into an ideology. People like Nick Fuentes. On the surface, Nick Fuentes preaches a familiar far-right gospel. He's a white nationalist and Holocaust denier who frequently praises Adolf Hitler and rails against Jews, immigrants, and LGBTQ people, and black people, and just minorities in general. But what
everybody, even himself, because he's Hispanic.
makes Fuentes
Yeah, that he that 1% drop rule. You know what I'm saying? That applies to this nigga too, bro.
uniquely threatening is how he seamlessly intertwines his
That's
racism
crazy.
with aggressive misogyny and incel-driven resentment. He is openly his racism with aggressive.
She ain't never gonna get married. She ain't never gonna get married. And look at this fucking sellout in the back, bro. Look at him. Look how hateful he is. Look at this guy. I don't know what the fuck is he doing. The fuck is this?
Misogyny and incel-driven resentment. He has openly fantasized about imposing a theocratic authoritarian rule, which he calls
Christian, fascist, theocratic, dictatorship, white nationalist. I forgot to add that too. Right, this is what it is.
Taliban rule over America. As in Fuentes' vision, women's rights and equality would be brutally rolled back. And despite him being this white race preservationist, he's not married, has no children, has never had sex before.
Yep.
Fuentes openly identifies himself as an incel, embracing that label as a twisted badge of honor. He calls himself an asexual incel, bragging that it's the straightest thing to be because in his warped logic, a real straight man should have no desire to spend.
He's gay. He's fucking gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. I want to make that clear. But don't hide about it and then shit disrespect to women because you don't like them, You know what I mean? Like, come on. We know this. Come on.
Time with a woman, which he calls gay. However, these are all prime examples of how
Dating women is
misogyny and white
gay.
supremacy reinforce each other, as in these spaces, there's a long history of incels latching on to.
It's always the motherfuckers that wear these
force each
type
other,
of
as in these
shades.
Spaces, there's a
You gotta be scared of a motherfucker who wears shades like this, bruh. They're always some fucking weirdos a lot of the times. 80% chance that you might be a weirdo, bro.
Long
Like,
history of incels latching on to racist ideologies, often blaming shadowy conspiracies or frequently involving Jews, feminists,
conservatives love conspiracy theories, bro. They're so fucking
or
retarded.
minorities for their romantic failings. But it's not just that. Fuentes also delivers a steady drumbeat of contempt for women. On the night of Trump's reelection, he tweeted, "Your body, my choice," which is just a gleeful inversion of the feminist pro-choice motto. And it became kind of a rallying cry for him. To understand how Nick Fuentes draws in so many young male followers, we have to enter the world of his Groyper army. The Groypers are Fuentes's,
which is dying. More and more people are not supporting the right. More and more people are moving left every single fucking day. These people are the minority. They do not make up majority of the country. I promise y'all.
devoted online brigade. And
They're
network
just
of mostly
loud.
white nationalists, ultra-conservative men who see
The average person like you, I see, again with this shit. God damn, the glasses. The same fucking shades. God damn.
him as a leader of a reactionary youth revolt. They congregate in his live chats. They give him lots of money. And
What the fuck?
yeah, he has a well-produced stream where he holds court, mixing hate speech with jokes and pop culture commentary. He spent years honing a narrative that speaks to the disillusionment of a young generation of white men, despite being Mexican, minority. Fuentes tells them a story of betrayal.
And no turners at back. When these white supremacists get the chance, they're gonna betray his ass too, because he's also a token. Technically,
they were supposed to inherit a
he's just white passing.
great America.
But still, he's not a pure blood. He's not the 3%er. He's not KKK. You know what I mean? So,
but corrupt elites have stolen their future. He rails that Jewish oligarchs and globalists have flooded the country with immigrants, promoting feminism and diversity, and thus have impeded on the livelihoods of white men. For many of Fuentes' fans, he offers a scapegoat and a solution, blaming the woke system, women, liberal elites, immigrants, Jews.
just anybody who's against the Trump regime or black or brown, or just not white European. Reagan and Bush. She's never gonna get in a relationship, bro. She's never gonna get in a relationship.
And imagining a new hard right order where they will finally be on top. Now enough about me.
He wanted them like, oh, I'm a Christian before I'm black type of people. Like, people see me as a Christian first, right? Because you're when I look at you, that's obviously, we can't tell that you're a Christian. You know what I mean? And no true Christian would ever want to represent this shit, bro. Genuinely.
Mr. Fuentes. The
Genuinely.
phenomenon of minority neo-Nazis is a distressing sign in our times, but it also
It's
offers
bad.
insight into what could help prevention. It forces us to broaden our assumptions about who can be radicalized and reminds us that extremism preys on universal human vulnerabilities. One vital step is detecting warning signs, especially in schools and online spaces. Someone like Solomon Henderson had many red flags, previous incidents at school, an obsession with past shooters, and disturbing online posts. Yet, like many youth, he slipped through the cracks of a system not fully attuned to this kind of radicalization. I'm not saying that you need helicopter parents. You don't need to be watching your kid 24/7, but just
shit, my bad. Mwah.
I don't know, being present, I guess. If you're someone my age, I guess, like 20s, this is not something like you could do individually. There are much larger social issues that need to be taken care of. Looking on the bright side, for people coming out of extremism, help them, be kinder to people, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want things to end cynically. Things will get better one day. Anyways, I want to thank you guys.
Let's just say that, society is just fucking cooked, bro. That shit is just chopped, bro. We got to give it up. You know what I'm saying? And, bro, I mean, it's ridiculous, man, bro, how this has gotten so bad. Really. But what do y'all think about this, man? I hope you have a good breakfast, a good dinner, good night, man. Love y'all, man. Peace.